I'd just like to tell folks a little bit about the NLRA. I know a lot of you guys know. I see a lot of familiar faces and members in the audience. Our job is to protect Newfound Lake. And what we know is that means protecting the land around Newfound Lake. So we really take a holistic approach to protecting the environment. And we do it because we love the lake. We do it because it has meaning to us as an organization and individuals in the organization. And we do it because it's the economic engine of this area. For years and years, we have enjoyed a beautiful, beautiful, pristine lake and environment. We still have one of the cleanest lakes in the country, but we are seeing disturbing trends of development that are hurting our water quality and hurting our view shed. These will have negative impacts on our economy in short order if we don't do something about it. One of the simple graphics I'll show, and some of you folks have seen this, this is about 25 years of water quality data from Pasquaney Bay, one of the bays in the lake, and it basically shows a decreasing trend in water clarity. The other thing that's interesting is, would anybody guess how many houses have been built in the watershed in the last 10 to 12 years? Any number? Just open your hand and take a guess. 100. 100? Okay, I've got 100. Houses built in the watershed? 500. 500, okay. Anybody else? One more guess.
200.
Okay, so we got 100 to 500. It's about 600 houses, which I think probably surprises most people.
Not really.
Not really. So man's paying attention.
That's in 10 years, you said?
10 or 12, about 12 years, which includes the Great Recession. So that's about 1% year average growth rate. So my point is we're seeing declining water quality as it is under a low growth scenario, and that if we don't take some action, some more action, we're going to lose what we all love. So the NLRA has a few simple steps that we're finally boiling down to, which basically mean prevent stormwater runoff off your own property, talk to your town planning boards about putting in low impact development ordinances and guidelines, such as riparian buffers and protecting wetlands, and how we build on steep slopes, and talk to your select boards about enforcing existing rules. And that's it.
28, you were showing what it is that's getting impacted and what it is that people can do to try to correct it, pass the word, do something.
All right. Well, Roger's my guy. This is a graph showing the trend in clarity. The way we measure this is there's a little device. It's a round disc with black and white quadrants. We lower it into the water, and then you see how deep it is before you lose sight of it. So it's clarity. This is in meters on the side. That's 10 meters, so that's a little over 30 feet. And even down at this end, it's 8 meters, which is about 25 feet. So that means you can see, a 6-inch high plate in 25 feet of water in Newfound. It's remarkably clear. The clarity is really driven by algae, which also would put a slight tinge of green to the water, if you're looking at it. And algae, and these are very, very small, plants. They essentially feed on phosphorus, which is what they call the limited nutrient in the lake. So more phosphorus means more plants. And what we're trying to prevent is an increase of phosphorus in the lake because it accelerates algae, it decreases the clarity, and it has some other side effects like weed growth. Phosphorus basically gets into the lake from attached to sediment. So it's a sand and silt is one way. Also, all organic material like leaves and plant matter has a lot of phosphorus. And fertilizer, lawn fertilizer, of course, has a lot of phosphorus in it. So what we ask people to do to protect the quality of the lake, it's actually fairly simple. Prevent stormwater from running off of your house. And today would be a great, off your property. Today would be a great example to see after this big rain, you have water gullying, across your yard and into a creek or, into the lake. Erosion on your property is probably a problem further downstream. So protecting or preventing stormwater runoff. The other thing is the natural vegetation along the side of a river. We call it a riparian buffer. It's just the natural woods and scrub and bushes that grow, everywhere. But that leaving a buffer strip along a water body, that's nature's filter. It's the best way to keep our water clean. And so if you have stormwater runoff, the riparian buffer filters it. So when I mentioned earlier the idea of zoning and land use controls, It's when you're looking at building, which is not a bad thing, and we need it, is leave the land undisturbed next to the shoreline, quite frankly. And that's the best filter we can do. It makes the house look better, it makes the property look better. The fish like the streams better because it keeps the temperatures down. So when we build, just try and lower our impact of our footprint.
Steep slope development.
Well, I got an educated audience here. The other thing we look at in Newfound is the land around the lake is really steep. The top of Cardigan is about 3,200 feet. The lake level is about 580. And as the crow flies, that's 5 or 6 miles. So that's a 2,500 foot gradient over a very short period. You all know from the area that we have a steep basin surrounding the lake, and basically rain like this last event, we're going to see it in the lake tomorrow. The water will be up. We'll see brown. Probably the visibility will be down near where the streams come in. We'll see sticks and things like that floating. Because the watershed is so steep and reacts so quickly, developing on steep slopes has to be done very carefully. I believe all the zoning allows us to build up to a 25% slope, which is really steep. Now, when you have highly erodible soil, which is commonly found on steep slopes, it only takes a few degrees once you've removed the vegetation cover, whether you're doing site development or not, to start moving stuff. So we want to be careful on steep slopes, both for runoff and erosion, but also lastly is what I'll call the view shed. And that is, when you put your house up on the side of the hill, we all love the view from it, but remember, you can be seen by everybody that you can see. So when you build on a hillside, we want to prevent runoff and erosion that's going to impact the water quality. We also want to blend our houses in with, like non-white colors and natural landscaping so that, we blend into the hillsides. And quite frankly, you can leave a few trees in front of your house and still have a great view. But when you're away looking back towards the house, it's hard to see. So a little bit of camouflage is good. All of that essentially adds value to where we live. It maintains our property values, it maintains the beauty of the place that we all love. And, in the long run, it's the right thing to do, and for a number of reasons, both economically and sort of philosophically. So, does anybody have any questions about what I just touched on? Realizing time is short.
I just wanted to call attention to everybody that if they're interested in Ron's book, we have some here for sale.
Thank you. I don't know if anyone's got a
Some people
copy.
couldn't get them last time.
Okay, so thank you for those prompts. Jan, hold up a copy of the book so folks can see it. Ron has a book that he's written that he's speaking out of today and the previous time, and still doing the profit thing?
Yeah, when the profit goes to the Newfound Lake Region Association or to the Newfound Pathways.
Right, so he's basically donating the profit to one of those two organizations, NLRA or the Newfound Pathways, which is working on pedestrian pathways around the lake. So, thanks again for coming. Appreciate your time, and if you're not a member of NLRA, please become one.